Hello everyone, it's Spooks, and welcome back to Chapter 5 of Her Lie I Tried to Believe. The story at this point is getting pretty juicy. Tim is still an asshole. When I first started playing this, I was pretty sure that we were going to hate Cassandra, but so far it seems like Tim is a fucking piece of shit. Like, he seems like the most awful person on earth. So I guess we're just gonna see if I'm wrong or if I'm right, but so far I haven't really seen anything bad from Cassandra and I haven't really seen anything good from Tim. So let's just get into chapter 5 where we left off. The 7th week marked a change in this stupid routine of ours. By then, we were already no longer meeting at her workplace. Instead, we would simply meet directly at our hotel room, which means we could see each other at a more appropriate time than in the middle of the week, and I would no longer have to pay for her fees as well. And this I found very shady indeed. Because the reason we only saw each other on Thursdays was because she worked only on that particular day. But that doesn't make any sense, does it? How was she able to subsist for herself if she only works once a week? Sure, she may have another job somewhere. Or more like, she definitely must have. But every time I ask her, she simply denies it. And I won't go out of my way to get the answer out of her. I don't care enough for that to happen. But it's still nagging me somehow. I entered our room nonchalantly like I always did, and she was waiting for me on the couch at the far back of the room while looking at her phone, like she always did. "Oh, you brought us food. You're so diligent. I hope you didn't forget a fork this time around." She throws herself at the bags I was carrying like the bundle of energy that she is. "Hey, this is my lunch, you idiot." "You say this, yet there are 2 bags. Hee hee hee. You're so not honest with yourself." Man, she's such a kid. "Your fork is in the..." Wait a minute. "Huh? Where is it?" She doesn't look my way. She's too engrossed in searching the content of the bag frantically, with question marks hovering on top of her head. Or at least, that's what she's trying to make me think. I drop my keys and jacket on the floor right then and there. I took her right arm forcefully, enough so for her expression to contort in pain. With my right hand, I pushed her chin upward to better see the features of her face. What is it? We're not even in bed yet. You're so naughty today." She says teasingly. "Shut up." She stops speaking instantly by my powerful words. I softly brush around her left eye with my thumb. Her eye closes instinctively by my touch. Even if she applies makeup to hide it, it's still very much visible. "Oh, I see. I don't remember having done this to you. Who did this?" It's nothing really. It doesn't hurt, see?" She pushes 2 of her fingers against the corner of her left black eye, and though her words say otherwise, she still looks in pain the moment she applies pressure on her skin. "Answer me." ... She simply looks down, almost ashamed of herself. Instinctively, I try to put my hand on her waist to comfort her somehow. But the moment my hand touches her body, I see her grimaces slightly. I take her shirt and lift it up without minding destroying the damn thing. And sure enough, there are dark marks all over her waist and belly. Marks that only a man could have done. "Answer me, goddammit. Who did this to you?" "Well..." She thinks carefully about her next words. "You know, sometimes clients can get out of hand and..." "Which one?" I don't know him. It was the first time I saw him, and I don't remember his face. My grip on her only tightened up the more words she adds. Isn't it your employer's job to make sure those things don't happen in the first place? Even if that's the case, doesn't change the fact that I have a black eye, right? ... Please, let's just not talk about this, alright? I want to enjoy myself. I've literally been waiting for today all week. ... I didn't answer her. I didn't answer her, nor did I look her way. I was lost in thought. I didn't understand why I was so frustrated. It was uncontrollable. And I know I shouldn't act illogically, but doesn't mean you know something that you'll automatically apply it to your thought process. Fuck. I feel like he says fuck in every single chapter. Is this because you don't like this? I can try to apply more makeup if you want. I'm sure you won't notice it when we'll be having sex, so... I should let go of her. If I continue on adding pressure on her arm like that, it will definitely swell up. Yet... Come. What? Are we leaving already? And what about the food? You can eat it in the car. Now come. But it will be cold, and where are we going anyway? Far from all of this. Really far from all of this. Chapter 6. Toward the Unknown. I am going to pause it really quickly because I'm pretty sure there's some background noise outside and I feel like it's probably going to bother some people. So if the audio changes, that's why. Anyway, I'll be back.
1 hour later.
And we're back. I've been gone for about like an hour, but for you guys it's probably been less than 5 seconds. Now, there is still some background noise, so I apologize for that, but I wanted to continue because I'm tired of waiting, so let's just get back to it. It was on impulse. It had already been 2 hours since we left the hotel. I was driving in the middle of the night, not knowing still where this road was going to lead us. She had stopped talking and asking me questions for a while now, only looking through the window motionlessly. She still hasn't touched her food yet. She was mad, maybe? It was too dark for me to really see her expression from the angle of her face. Still, I was curious about her thoughts right now. She, who never showed her true color. What lies underneath her carefree and good-natured demeanor? Maybe something like me? But her silence was too good to be true. Soon, her mouth started moving again. You're really doing this, aren't you? Do you even know the impact of this choice you're about to make? I don't care. Then why are you doing this? If you don't care, I'm doing this because I can't stand seeing you like this anymore. That's why. Don't you understand that this life of yours is not worth living? If this continues on like this, they're going to... To what? Kill me? Break me? Why should you care? Shouldn't you be rejoicing? After all, you hate me. Shut up. But it's the truth, isn't it? Shut up. I shouted at her. I didn't want to have this conversation. I didn't even know the answer myself. All I knew is that I needed to get as far away as possible. As soon as possible. Is this because you feel responsible? Is that it? That I'm going to clear things up once and for all. This has nothing to do with you. It never had. This has always been my father's fault to begin with. This is not your responsibility. You understand? I'll be the I'll be the one judging on that. They are the mafia, Tim, and I owe them a lot of money. If I disappear like this, they're going to pursue me and find me. And if at that time you're there with me, they're not going to let you off easily. They're going to... She stops talking. From the corner of my eye, I can see her tears rolling down her cheek uncontrollably, as if the thought of my death alone was enough to make her cry. Damn, this is getting fucking crazy. What of it? I can sense her powerful gaze on me the moment those words leave my mouth. Anger. Something I've never seen throughout her features, no matter how I treated her, has now been triggered by those simple and trivial words. Don't you understand how dangerous this is? They're going to kill you. You have a girlfriend, don't you? And a job you worked hard to obtain. If you persist in trying to save me like this, you're going to throw away everything you've been trying to build your whole life. You can't sacrifice all of this for something as stupid as... My foot slammed on the brake pedal with all its might. The scream of the tires stretched out for a long 5 seconds until the car finally stopped completely. I then leaned on her, unlocked her door, and opened it in one single motion. If you don't like this, then get out. We're still close to a bus station. You can probably manage to return to the city before morning. I've made my decision, and I don't plan for you to understand it. Responsibility? Toward whom? You? Don't make me laugh. I'm doing this for myself, alright? She muttered one single word. Liar. Haha, how stupid can you be? I ain't fucking lying, you dumb bitch. A girlfriend? A job? A life? I have no interest in those fucking things. I always felt completely empty. All this fucking painful life of mine has always been one big, reoccurring joke. No. I've been waiting for this kind of opportunity all my life. It just so happens that it is tonight. Now, or you follow me and become my partner in crime, or you get the fuck out and return to that hell you proudly call your life. She looks at me in the eyes, the same way she always does when we're having sex. She has no smile, she has no expression, she has no happiness. The purity with which she's always been looking at the world around her is nowhere to be found, as if it was always but a fleeting illusion. This is the real her. She doesn't shift her cold gaze from me while closing her door slowly. I've waited for this my whole life, and there's no way I'm going to let it get away from me like this. Let's go. Those are her words. Powerful, without any hesitation. I don't say anything back. I'm not able to. Her determination seems dangerous somehow, so I just unconsciously started driving again, as though this whole conversation never took place. I break eye contact with her to focus on the road. Is this maybe what they call eloping? It's exciting. I think I lost the voice I was doing for her. Oh, fuck, I don't remember how it went. The moment my eyes fall back on her, she has the most beautiful smile I've ever seen in the world. Chapter 7. Eloping isn't the word. After driving for half a day, we finally stopped in a cheap motel to rest and regain some of our energy. At the same time, I took this opportunity to collect my thoughts. While this situation might have started as a brainless and impulsive act, keeping up with this attitude will only bring us down in the long run. In the end, we might need a good plan if we want a good shot at this. I first thought we had a good amount of time ahead of us, but this assumption was a big mistake of mine. By asking for a bit more details, I found out that Cassandra was living with another hostess from that bar. So even though she's working only once a week, the other girl will soon find out about her disappearance. I could have asked her to try and contact that girl, maybe convince her not to say a word to their boss. But this would have been too big a risk for only postponing the inevitable as a result. Ultimately, I think trusting someone will only trigger the start of our downfall. ... I look at her. She's carelessly sleeping beside me, while I'm the one stressing out about all those things. She doesn't seem to care all that much since she showed me that determination of hers. Seriously, what am I doing? Getting out of my way for what? This? Sleeping in this cheap-ass bed? Eating this disgusting convenience store food? This is all her. No. What am I thinking? No matter how I look at this, I choose to do this of my own volition. Right? I shouldn't hold it against her. Still, I know there's a darkness in my heart that I've yet to get rid of. That darkness which is whispering to me to destroy her. So, did you choose where we're going, my love? She says shamelessly the moment we enter the car. Stop that. It's disturbing. But we're eloping. I can at least call you that much, right? No, we're not. Eloping would mean that we're about to wed, and we're clearly not. But I want to wed. But I want to wed. I love you, and we're going to live together from now on, so... Damn, okay, I love you? Shit. She puts her head on my shoulder while smiling brightly. So what? There's no logic behind your words. And get off of me. I shake her off without any consideration for her feelings, or even her well-being. Boo, you're no fun. She sticks out her tongue like a little kid before turning her attention towards the window, sulking. Man, she's a handful. I've decided our destination. I've thought about it for a long time, and what do you think of Las Vegas? She instantly looks back at me, sparkles in her eyes. So, does that mean we're really going to get married after all? I've always wanted to go to Las Vegas. Why does she look scared, though? Back off. I've decided this out of convenience for us, not for your little fantasy. Well, I knew how much she wanted to go there. She's talked about it more than once, so I might have taken that into account. But I'm not actually going to say that, am I? But I don't understand. Shouldn't we try to go to some unknown villages instead of going to such a big city to try and lay low or something? Aren't we asking to be found if we go there? Not exactly. The best place to hide a tree is inside a forest, right? Logically, when you think about someone trying to escape from a group like the Mafia, you think that this person is going to hide in some distant place, far away from urban civilization. That's exactly how his pursuers are going to think too. So naturally, they're going to first search those uncivilized areas. You understand where I'm going with this? Yeah, but while it does look all good on paper, doesn't mean it will go that smoothly. That place is known to be run by criminals, right? So it shouldn't be too far-fetched to think that they have ties to our pursuers. If we're going to a small place, village or whatever, we're going to attract a lot of unwanted attention. They all know each other in those places, you know. And look at us. Not what we would call countryside people, are we? If you say so. She doesn't seem to buy it. Is she scared? She shouldn't be. One more thing. I need her to understand this perfectly, else none of this is worth it. Even if they find us, it doesn't change anything, does it? In the end, Both our lives have never been worth living. I won't live my days in such a boring place as a village or crawling in fear inside a hole somewhere. My life has been nothing but boredom already. So, she looked at me, clueless. Let's try and have some fun, shall we? She regains that smile of hers so naturally. A beautiful, pure, and bright smile. That smile that I would have done anything to destroy before. I was now the source of its existence. I should feel flattered by this. I should, yet how disgusting. Chapter 8. Las Vegas. Vegas, baby. The place to be. Took us another day and a half to arrive at our destination. So 3 days all in all. Since it was on Friday night that we've eloped, like Cassandra loved so much to say. We were now obviously Monday, late in the evening. The moment we've entered the core of the city, she became ecstatic. At every street corner, she would be like, "Oh," or "Look, look, look, it's so beautiful," or again, "I want to go there, let's go there, all right?" And every time I would just keep my eyes on the road, half listening to her. And when I feel like she's pestering me too much, I would simply say something like, "We need to find a place to crash first. Be patient, all right?" He's a lot nicer now. At least he's changed a little bit. She was so excited about trivial things that I started wondering what kind of life she has led up until then. She was a prostitute, right? Then why do I feel so much like I'm with a kid somehow? Was it really a good thing to bring her with me? To bring her to such a place? One thing we didn't have to worry about, though, was our budget. I had lots of economy from my old part-time job as well as my current one. Well, current might not be the case anymore, but whatever. Since I lived my life up until then pretty much modestly, or more like pathetically, I had more than enough for the both of us for quite a respectable amount of time. Obviously, the first place we decided to hit was the mandatory casino. I mean, that's pretty much all there is to see here, so we've drunk a lot. And when I mean a lot, I mean we didn't as much as think of ever stopping throughout the night. She looked at everything with eyes full of curiosity. The old people on their slot machines would be very intriguing to her. She could gaze at them for 30 minutes without end. And when I asked her if she wanted to try, she looked at me with a smile and said, "They look so pathetic, it's almost pitiful. But when you think about it, aren't we the same? We pass our lives routinely doing the same emotionless movements, forgetting even about the meaning behind it. I wonder if there's a God. Wouldn't he look at us with the same pity?" I walked closer to her, putting my hand on her head, and looked at her silently. That was really fucking dark. I wanted to somehow comfort her, but no word came to my mind. That's when she continued. Why is she looks so happy here. "As long as we're together, let's not do this, alright? I want this to be special. Us. You don't need to force yourself. You don't need to love me. But at least make sure we never forget, alright? Never forget the reason we're here right now." "Alright. Never. I promise." I took her by the hand and led her throughout this maze of bright and colorful machines. But was it a good thing to ascertain her wish? I mean, not forgetting the reason why we're here would mean we would be always fearing to be found, always running. Or maybe that's what she wanted. She would also look at me with great interest when playing blackjack. She didn't know the rules, but the moment I explained it to her, she would try and help me sometimes. And she was smart. Oh, for that she was. I almost forgot how she was at the top of our school once. To think that she has become so innocent. Or maybe she's always been that way. Or maybe she always has been. But the way I imagined her at the time, I thought she was a strong-willed woman that could do anything if she put her mind to it. But I couldn't have been more wrong. That's actually kind of fucking sad. Like, that's actually really sad. She was fragile, delicate, and pure. Any man would have been better for her. Any man. Yet, she was unlucky enough to choose me out of all of them. ... The moment we started to become really wasted was the moment everything started to slowly crumble. Ooh, shit. I had to go to the washroom because of the alcohol, obviously. And the instant I got out, I saw her speaking with another man. Well, okay. She wasn't speaking to him more than he was trying to hit on her. But whatever. Her eyes were different than when she's with me. She had a stern expression. Cold as ice. It was obvious she was trying to get rid of him. But he seemed persistent. I came up to them and asked her if she knew him. I don't. He was actually about to leave. Right? Oh, so he's your boyfriend? Sorry, man. It's such a beautiful woman you have there. I couldn't pass by her without at least trying. He looked at me with that expression, as if what he did was the most natural thing in the world. What did he ask of you? I asked her plainly. Nothing. Answer me, I shouted, not minding the people around us. Obviously, most of them did turn around by my sudden outburst. She didn't want to answer, but knowing me, she finally looked down and said, He asked me how much it was for the night. You just treated her as a prostitute? I'm sorry. He repeated back again. But as I said, she's a very attractive girl, so leave. I said emotionlessly, and without waiting, I repeated the order again. I said, leave. He replied to me, Okay. No need to be so cold, jeez. You're meant to be together, you two. I wasn't talking to you. Cass, leave. Wait for me outside while I deal with this bitch. What did you just say? Wait, can I just say really quickly, why is he acting like it's just so normal to go up to a random girl in a casino and ask her if she's a prostitute? I don't know, I've never been to Vegas, maybe that's normal there, but I feel like that's really disrespectful. Anyway. Did I read this already? I don't remember. What did you just say? I'll do it again. The man became visibly agitated the moment he understood my words. No. Tim, come with me. I don't want to be alone. I don't care how he treated me. Just come, alright? Let's stay together. I took a stance, no longer minding her presence next to me. She started hugging me from behind, probably by fear of me jumping on the guy. What are you doing? Stop, you idiot! But before I could finish my sentence, I was hit in the face by the man in front of me. He probably took her action as an opportunity to hit me by surprise. I almost lost my balance, but was somehow able to keep my ground. If I stumbled right now, I would fall on her. A second hit came, and I had no other choice but to take it yet again. I fell on a knee. At that moment, she finally understood what was happening as she decided to protect me from up front instead. Leave him alone! Don't you see he's not in any position to fight? The guy did stop by her words, but he did say something along the line of, Next time, know with whom you are dealing with, punk, before leaving as though he just conquered the world. I like how he's such a badass, but he used the word whom. I don't know, the last thing I would expect from somebody starting a bar fight is for them to say, whom you are dealing with, punk. Maybe that's just me though. I stayed close to the ground for some time while she kept on hugging me. I sensed rage welling up inside of me, and the only thing she thought to say was, "I'm sorry, baby. I'm so sorry." Her useless apologies only fueled my anger. I got up from the ground without looking at her and started walking toward the nearest bar. I wanted to be alone. I knew what would happen if she kept on following me. But sure enough, there was nowhere for her to go. I drank a couple of shots on my own. She was sitting next to me, but I ignored her. She didn't ask for a drink herself, nor did she start a conversation. But she kept on looking at me. I was the center of her world. I was the center of her whole world. That's how I felt at that very moment. After that, I went outside dejectedly. I was so drunk, I didn't even know how I was able to walk straight. That is, if I was really walking straight to begin with. It was nighttime, maybe 2 or 3 in the morning. She was shivering somehow. She repeated that she was cold multiple times over. I didn't really understand how it was possible since it was relatively hot at that moment. I lit a cigarette and simply looked at one point in space without thinking much of anything. Until... "Hold me. ... Please? I'm cold." She wanted me to hold her, ridiculously enough. Get lost. She was annoying. He's so mean to her. "But I want to be close to you. Please?" She didn't change gear even though I was so frigid toward her. She never did. But tonight it was even more than that. She outright showed her dependence on me. "No." She approached me nonetheless. The moment her hand touched me, I pushed her hard to the ground. Whoa, dude, that's fucked up. She fell on her butt, her face slightly contorting in pain. Others were looking at me. It seemed like I was the bad guy tonight. Yeah, you kinda are. I couldn't care less. I didn't feel anything. I looked at her, emotionlessly. She staggered back to her feet, and when she did, she kept her smile on her face, only looking at me. She walked again toward me and said, "Again." What the fuck? What? I know she's like is she a masochist? I don't even know, but that's still kind of weird. She wanted to be pushed again. What the fuck was her problem? Well, not that I really minded. When she touched me again, I pushed her in the same fashion I did before. She again stumbled on the ground, got back on her feet, and walked up to me. I started laughing. How the fuck was she so stupid? Doesn't she understand how mad I am right now? Do I even understand it myself? I pushed her. On the ground, she was laughing. Like me, I guess. But this time, she had a harder time getting back up. People were eyeing us as though we were not part of their world. Another species entirely. You're such an airhead sometimes. My anger had totally dissipated thanks to her stupid act. I helped her back on her feet, and we entered the casino anew. She was happy. She had locked arms with me, and she was holding me so tight I had no other choice but to leave her to her own devices. We walked past a multitude of tables, all of which had different ways of carelessly losing your money. She took notice of one in particular. "I want to try this one. Give me 20. All right. I gave it to her happily, somewhat intrigued by her sudden desire to play a game. Also, those stupid fucking birds. I don't know if you guys can hear them, but I don't know why there's so much background noise today. I apologize. Since we've got here, she was always simply looking my way, happy to see me gamble with no interest in participating herself. She puts the chip the croupier gave to her on the number 0. I'm sorry, I don't really know casino terms too well. Wait, do you know how it works? You do know how it works, right? Yeah, what of it? You know you only have one chance out of 37 while playing like this. Sure. The roulette started turning and turning, and soon enough the little ball slowed down to stop inside one slot in particular. And sure enough, that slot wasn't the number she... Wait, what? Yay! I won, babe! ... How is this fucking possible? Yeah, I know. Less than 3% is still more than 0. Still. She had won a little bit more than $700. She wanted to give it to me, but I didn't accept it. Even if she didn't necessarily work for it, it feels as though she used a lot of her unused luck to win it. She bought us 2 bottles of wine, and we finished the night at our hotel. ... She was on top of me. She looked at me with those passionate eyes of her. She had a letter opener in her hands. It was lying around on the bedside table, I think. The moment she noticed it, she took it hastily as though she had a great idea. She then said, I want to write my name on your body with this. Can I? What the fuck? This bitch is crazy. Oh my god, that's a little bit crazy. A little bit. I said, sure. What the fuck? This motherfucker's crazy too. Both of you are fucking insane. But I guess that's why they're meant to be. I guess the drunk guy was right. Carelessly, without ever breaking eye contact with her, I looked at her every moment with great interest. She applied pressure on my stomach with the edge of the thing, but it didn't do much good. Her name was there alright, but it would probably disappear in less than 5 minutes. She was too soft. Still, she was satisfied with the result. I wasn't. She looked at my stomach, contemplatively. I took that opportunity to grab the hand with which she held the letter opener and pushed it hard on my belly. What are you... This is how you do it. If you want to appropriate me, do it properly. Appropriate you? I didn't reply to her. My eyes were enough to convey my thoughts. I don't want to hurt you. If you don't wanna, then get off of me. ... She cried. Right then, she cried. But while doing so, she started carving her name on my body thoroughly. Because those weren't tears of sorrow. She was genuinely happy. She didn't look very happy. Chapter 9. The second day. Alright, so we are going to stop here for today. We read like 4 chapters, right? And this video is almost 40 minutes long. So if you liked it, you can leave a like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if there's any other visual novels you would like to hear me read, as well as any games you would like to see me play. Thank you so much for watching. I'm the spookiest ghost, and hopefully I will see you guys next time.